Dead. Gruesome.
I feel like I've been sick for the last 7 days and I'm dying, and while I've been dying, I've been like, I'm gonna revisit some classic games, and by classic I mean the not so classic Resident Evil 4 remake. I've played Resident Evil 4 so many times, I gotta give the remake some more love, I've only beat it like twice. I say twice, I beat it like 27 times to get the 100% achievements at one point, and don't want to do that again. But yeah, I was revisiting Resident Evil 4, and while I'm playing it, I come to the bit that you're watching right now, and it triggered me, I'm not gonna lie. It really annoyed me because it puts me off, it really does. Now, the original Resident Evil 4 does this, but for whatever reason I can tolerate it on that because it's so short. I know the puzzle like the back of my hand. I can fly through that section so easily. I can. And you could argue and just say you need to spend a little bit more time with this and it would stop being a problem. And I sort of agree. But it's not just Resident Evil 4 Remake that does it. And I honestly thought it was because of a character switch, but it's not just the character switch that triggers me. It's the complete change in gameplay dynamic. Now, a lot of people would scream and be like, yeah, but that adds variety to the game. I don't want variety. The game has enough variety as is. You cannot throw a level at me where all of a sudden I'm not only a different character, but everything that I was just playing isn't even the same game anymore. The combat's out the window. Combat's the best part of Resident Evil 4. Sure, the atmosphere's turned up to 11, but of course it is. I can't do anything. I'm creeping around super slow, can't do anything. Just running backwards and forwards, solving puzzles. Yawn, boring. I cannot stand this section of the game. Resident Evil 2 Remake does it with Ada and Sherry. Those sections suck ass. Do you honestly know what I do when I replay these games? I usually get to those points and I hit the typewriter, I save it, and I'll go, I'll come back to it later, because obviously the worst bit's up next, and I need a bit more motivation to do it. And it might be weeks, I might never even come back to replaying it, just because of that horrible 10-15 minute section that sucks ass and drains all pacing of the game and ruins it. It just completely ruins an experience. All games need to start, like when we review games, whenever they do these things, we need to start deducting points. I can't stand these sections. Resident Evil Village is the worst offender of these, and Resident Evil Village doesn't really have you switching characters per se. There's one section where you'll be Chris, but the gameplay is still the same. It's just a little bit more action heavy. But Village's problem is there's every time you go into a different section of that game, the gameplay feels completely different again. It doesn't even feel like you're playing the same kind of game. It doesn't in those sections. So it's just got no, it feels like a mishmash of ideas that have just glued together to make that experience. So it's a huge offender. I know I'm singling out Resident Evil, but this doesn't just fall on Resident Evil. Plenty of games do this. It's just in my head, Resident Evil is the ultimate offender of it. And I don't think Capcom's going to stop. Capcom's going to do it with the next one, Resident Evil 9, and they'll somehow shoehorn it into other ones. Like, for example, Resident Evil 5 doesn't really have a section like this, except it kind of does. Now, when we do inevitably get a remake of Resident Evil 5, because it will happen, we all know this, that section that nobody likes, the turret section, because let's be real, when you're playing online, you're playing co-op on Resident Evil 5, you're running through the same partner, the same person's playing with you, and you're like, damn, we've been playing this for hours. The second the level starts where it's the turret section, it always comes up disconnected. Because nobody wants to do that bit. It's not the same game, it's not the same feel, it's not what you signed up for. Why is it in the game? Nobody likes it. It just ruins everything. The pacing's gone. The gameplay that you will enjoying's gone. There's just nothing there, and it's just like, why are we doing this? And I get it. Like I said, I know why devs think that they're doing it for a good reason. They're like, oh, variety in the gameplay, you're doing something different. You don't want to get too bored doing the same thing over and over again. If your game's good enough, you already had enough variety, and Resident Evil 4, for example, is superb. It doesn't need this section. Now, I'm not saying they should have cut the section out entirely. I mean, they should have, if you ask me, but a lot of people would kick off then and be like, whoa, cut content, because we all know what the Resident Evil community is like, where cut content's concerned. You could have shortened it. You could have made it a bit quicker, you know? Like, just let me get through it real fast. And when you come through on new playthroughs, you kind of know the codes for the clocks. Like, you know what number to put in so that you can speed the process up. Knowledge is power. But not the first time you come through, or if you haven't done it in a while and you can't remember the damn number. Yeah, you could Google it, but I'm not going to do that. So it's just like, tedious, slow, not fun. Let me be Leon again, give me my damn guns, and let me start blowing up zombies. I don't want to do these bits. They're lame. Get them out of the games. Stop putting them in. Does anybody like them? Right, genuine question. Does anyone like these sections in the game? Like, if these sections were cut, I want to know if you'd be actually triggered by that more than triggered by the fact they make you do them. Because I'm not talking about bits where, say for example, you finished the game and it, like on the menu it said, do you want to do the bit where Ashley went missing? Do you want to do an extra chapter? That'd be different. I'm talking about when you're playing the game from the start to the finish, and at some point the game's like, now you be this character, now the gameplay is not the same. It's not necessarily the character change either, because like I said, in Village when it makes you be Chris, still got all my guns, still got all my abilities, it's still fun to play, I'm still fighting the monsters, that's fun. It's the same game, I'm just a different character. It's not the different character that the problem is, it's the change in dynamic of the gameplay. It's just very, very annoying, and games do it far too often, and it's very annoying. It needs to stop. Personally, I think it needs to stop. It massively triggers me, it sets me off, I can't stand it. Every game that does it just makes me put the controller down. I need to take a break. And I shouldn't do that. I should continue playing, because your gameplay should be like so good. I'm like, you know what, I just want to keep playing. Dead Space doesn't do it. Dead Space from start to finish, you do the same thing and it's great. Evil Within, there's no section different other than Evil Within 2 where it does the first person section, which is really lame. I'm not gonna lie, that's super lame. But again, super short to the point where I can tolerate it and ignore it. So the key there is, if you're gonna do it, it needs to be so short that I don't even think about it. But yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, I've been playing Resident Evil 4, and I was just, this bit came on, I was like, oh, not this again. I hate it so much. Devs, please stop doing it. Please, I'm begging you. Just pack it in. Stick to what we know and love. That's all I got, people. Yeah, if you like these sections, let me know down below. If you feel the same way as I do, where these need to go and we need to stop doing this stuff, let me know down below. But yeah, that's all I got. If you're new here, subscribe. But yeah, I'll catch you later.